see in the background here, we've got a really high spring tide. The water is very, very, very beautiful. So is the sky. Everything is beautiful in the world. Today, I read, courtesy of AI, that I shouldn't really be doing a daily drop because all I'm doing is confusing the algorithm and nobody's watching.
1, 2.
Yeah, my apologies. I just got the proceedings interrupted by a phone call. A very valuable and useful phone call all the same. It's about work I do with neurodiverse people here locally. So yeah. Anyway, where was I? Here we are in beautiful Oamaru, in the harbour, in a very high, I don't know if it's a moon tide, I think it might be because the water is so high. The clouds are beautiful, the sky is beautiful, it's great time to be around. So today, I'm going to cover why saying I'm sorry makes somebody sorry. This is day 3 of the 5-day challenge, in which I'm going to run on rinse and repeat. I think I may have mentioned earlier that I've been advised by AI, of all things, that I shouldn't post daily. And the reason I shouldn't post daily is because it confuses the algorithm and I'm not getting traction. So as a result, nobody's getting this when I put it out live, which is a shame, but that's the way it goes. What do you think? If you do get this, tell me in the comments whether you think it is a good idea for a guy to post live every day, or whether I am wasting my time and yours. I'm hoping, actually I've got a dog in both of these fights, so I don't mind. If it turns out that I should only post 3 times a week, cool and dandy, live wise I mean, I'll do that. But I usually post 3 episodes a week anyway, so I'll be hosting another long form episode on the channel tomorrow. So either way, I'm out here 3 times a week. I thought it'd be a great idea because I was advised by Richmond Din to post every day. But it turns out that YouTube is not equal for all people. What I mean by that is that if you have a profile and you've managed to capture a lot of audience and a lot of market through your channel, then you can advise people to do certain things like post every day. However, if the person who posts every day has a very small channel with very little uptake and very little algorithmic outreach, the advice to post every day isn't necessarily good advice, because all it might do is confuse the algorithm. I noticed there's somebody out there, it's nice to see, oh no, they've gone. Nice to see a side of life every so often. It was beautiful for 20 seconds, if that I had somebody else watching. But it kind of proves my point, that if you're a small channel and you run out every day, it's not necessarily a good thing. Having said that, it's not necessarily a bad thing either, is it? Not if it keeps you sharp and it puts you in touch with your mission and your purpose. So what's my mission and my purpose? I must confess I spent a lot of time thinking about this last night. On previous occasions I've said I'm not going to agitate pain. And then in my journal I was talking about nice guy syndrome, and I just itemized so many pain points about having nice guy syndrome. And on one level, it's tempting to sell the pain, because you think if you sell the pain, you're going to get more gain. You're going to get more traction from people who might want your services or what you've got to offer. But actually, the world is full of pain, is it not? The world is full of people selling pain, issuing warnings and advice. I was thinking that YouTube is becoming like the drive-in movie industry in the 50s. In the 1950s, what people would do would be they would hawk a movie title around to different drive-ins and to different cinemas. You know, like Aliens Stole My Baby, or Attack of the Giant Ant Woman, and that kind of stuff. And if enough people in cinemas and in drive-ins liked the title, then they would go and shoot a movie about it. Well, YouTube thumbnails are getting like that, aren't they? They're getting increasingly shocking and sensational and splashy, like tabloids, because they're competing for so much of our attention. But unfortunately, a big part of that is to try and agitate pain. And I'm not sure I want to be part of that game. You might say, well, why are you doing YouTube then if you don't want to be part of that game? Well, I might respond that not everybody has to do the same thing all the time. And besides, at some stage, things change. And those who are at the back of the line, when everybody turns around, suddenly find themselves at the front. So maybe here I am at the back of the line, waiting for the volte-face and waiting to be at the front of the line. So what I decided to do was to run a 5-day challenge and rinse and repeat the 5-day content here live. And do you know what? I think I'm going to keep doing it. Sod the algorithm, sod AI with its advice, and sod everybody who doesn't want to watch me. And that includes you who aren't watching. So day 4, actually I think I'm on day 4 now, is why saying I'm sorry makes you sorry. No, it isn't. It's why I'll try equals I'll lie. So let me explain my point of view. When you say to people that you will try to do something, you're doing two things. You're entering into a covert contract with that other person, and that covert contract is an unwritten understanding that you ain't going to follow through. The other person can give you the instructions or give you an opportunity to do a task, and you can say, I'll try. The other person now has exonerated themselves from blame when it doesn't happen, and you, by saying I'll try, have tried to capture some popularity with your compliance, but deep down inside you know you're not going to do it. This means that you're lying to you and you're lying to the other person, but it's a covert contract because both parties know it's happening. Now, the question you've got to ask yourself is, do you want to spend your time engaged in covert contracts with people who essentially don't mind if you're dishonest? Because if they don't mind you being dishonest, it means that they are dishonest too, and they are encouraging you in your folly. And they're using you to get out of doing things for themselves. Have a think about it. When you say I'll try, what you're saying is that you have no intention of following through, and that when you haven't followed through, nobody's going to be able to blame you because you tried. This is a sad situation. The reason it's a sad situation is because, well, frankly, it lacks purpose, it lacks mission, it lacks masculinity. In fact, it lacks a lot of the virtues that I want to promote, rather than the pain I wish to exploit. So I'd like you to think in terms of getting in touch with some old-fashioned values. Whatever happened to honor? Whatever happened to the idea of following through on your word, being good and true to your word? Whatever happened to having principles, values, and being willing to see them through? I could agitate pain. I could call the I'll try guy a loser, a simp, lacking assertiveness, lacking confidence, timid, frightened, weak, all of those things. But I'd rather capitalize on the idea that down there inside that person who is subjugating themselves, there's a kernel of desire to be honorable, to be virtuous, to be steadfast, and to inspire confidence in other people. And by so doing, inspire confidence in themselves. If you can, stop telling people you'll try, and instead start telling people that you will. And if you can't, start telling people that you won't. But Don't flap around on the periphery, trying to please everybody, because as the old adage goes, you can't please everybody all the time. So, today's daily drop endeth, coming into 10 minutes, 30 seconds. I'd like to leave you with my final thought for the day, or the final thought for this daily drop, which of course, as always, is whatever it is you dare to do or dream, you can begin it now. I'll catch you tomorrow. Against all the advice, against all the wisdom, and against all of the collected knowledge and sagesse of AI, despite the algorithm's fickleness, despite the fact that nobody's watching, I'm going to be here tomorrow, so there. See you then. Bye-bye.